Hey guys, it's Penguin here and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, we are going to be going over some unusual ways to make gold in patch 10.1. Now, what I mean by unusual is the fact that not many people talk about these subjects, at least in videos. A lot of these concepts are just things people do on the sides, or a lot of people might do this to the day-to-day, but it's just not spoken about often. This includes a lot of raw gold methods, some special pets, and even some unique crafting. So this video is kind of just a combination of random gold making methods that I like to enjoy and talk about. So there is no secret million gold making method in here or anything like that. These are just some fun methods people might want to know about. So without further ado, we're going to dive right in, but thank you guys so much for watching, and here we go. And so to start off, people will probably be most familiar with this topic, and this is some raw gold making methods. Raw gold just consists of gold going directly into your pocket. It's not like you have to deal with the auction house or anything like that. So this is perfect for beginners, people who just want to make some simple gold, or people who have a lot of alts. The first one that is pretty well known is the Dragon Race World Quest. Once you complete one of these world quests, you are given the Dragon Racing bag, and on average, each bag holds about 515 raw gold, give or take a few gold. The best thing about this is that this is pretty reliable, it's a little bit fun if you enjoy dragon racing, and you can do this on a lot of characters. There are 4 dragon races in the main 4 zones, as well as 1 in the Forbidden Reach, and these change bi-weekly, meaning every half a week. So you can get 10 of these done, 5 in the first half of the week, and 5 in the second half. However, with the introduction of 10.1, there are also dragon races in the Zaralek Cavern. Now, the world quests seem to be on a different system in this new zone, but at the time of recording on NA, there are 2 races up, which brings our total to 7. So if I were to spend about, let's say, 15 minutes to go and do all 7 races, at an average of about 515 gold, that's 3,600 raw gold in my pocket. It's not going to make you a millionaire, but if you are just starting out and you want to gain some reputation as well, go and do this world quest. Up next, in the spirit of Season 2, to all of the current content players out there, whether you raid, do dungeons, or do PvP, you can turn your unused tokens of merit into raw gold. I found this out because I ran LFR, the first wing, on my main character, and after checking at the vault, I got an item that I didn't want, so I chose the Tokens of Merit award. Then checking at the vendor, you can turn in 2 tokens for 1,000 raw gold. So basically, if you run LFR or just do raids, Mythic Plus, whatever, maybe you do it for the Shadowflame Essence, maybe you just do it because you are a current content player, you can turn those unused tokens into some hefty raw gold. Lastly, we have the weekly quest. However, there's been a slight change in patch 10.1. Traditionally, aiding the Accord, the weekly quest we're all familiar with, used to guarantee you about 1,500 raw gold once you turned it in. However, with the introduction of the Loam weekly quest, the Worthy Ally quest, that is no longer the case. Only the Worthy Ally grants you 1,500 raw gold guaranteed. So if you're somebody who is still looking for that 1,500 raw gold, you definitely want to prioritize the new weekly over the old. However, in good news, as you guys may or may not know, there are 2 additional gold pouches that can drop from both of these weeklies. One is an overloaded pouch, which can actually grant you up to 16,000 raw gold, and there's a smaller pouch, which actually rewards you another 1,500. So yes, the normal weekly, the Aiding Accord, no longer guarantees you raw gold, but it still has a chance for giving you one of those pouches, so I recommend completing both if you have time. Of course, as you do dragon races and gain renown and everything else, you will probably complete these passively, meaning that's just more raw gold in your pocket. Moving on to a slightly more controversial topic, we have pets. Now in this video, I want to highlight 4 pets specifically, but I have actually made a pet video prior to 10.0.7 that covers a lot of super easy to get pets, so I highly recommend checking that out if you want to learn a little bit more, but these are 4 additional pets that are really tied to 10.1 and 10.0.7 that I think are worth getting. The first one is probably my favorite on this list, and this is Lord Stanley. I actually made a shorts video on this pet, but he is still my favorite. I personally have already sold 4 of these pets on just my main realm. Granted, it's about 15 to 20,000 gold, but in total to get all of these pets, it probably only took me about 5 minutes of active effort, and I'll tell you exactly why. In order to get Lord Stanley, the first thing you need to do is get yourself a Clacking Claw. This is just an item which you can either go farm the rare Clack Attack, who is inside the Zerlik Cavern, or just buy it off the auction house. At this point in time, it goes from like 300 to 500 gold a piece. It's super cheap. After that, you just need to check 3 different spots inside the cavern, and you're looking for a suspicious or a curious top hat. Now, if you do find the top hat, be careful because you need to use the Clacking Claw to get close to it. If you just run up to it or interact with it, it will disappear. So use your claw, go up to it, and boom, you have Lord Stanley. Personally, what I do is I keep a claw on each of my characters, and so as I'm doing world quest, etc., I can just check those 3 areas, and if I end up finding one, I can quickly use the claw, and then I'm good to go. An important note is that you can loot this as many times as you want. It's not unique per character, so feel free to go hunting on your main or do whatever you like. It's not unique. Secondly, the easiest pet on this list is actually just a vendor pet, and this is called Diamondshell. It costs 50 baubles, and how you get baubles is actually just turning in unearthed fragrant coins, which just come from the daily events that you can do inside of Zerlik Cavern. So if you've been grinding reputation, you probably have a ton of these coins, and if you don't need to turn them into fragments, you might as well buy yourself a battle pet, which sells for a handful of gold. So this is super easy, and I highly recommend picking up a few if you have some extra coins. Keeping up with the theme of the caverns, we also have the Devourer Lobstrock. This is a pet that comes from the weekly Researchers event from one of the bags. According to Wowhead, it drops from any sort of quality of bags, so you should be able to farm this if you really like. I personally got one at my first event. Now, Wowhead drop chance is not always accurate, but it says it's about a 12 to 15% drop chance on Wowhead. I got one at my first try, and I sold it a few days later for about 15 to 20k. Then lastly, my second favorite pet, right under Lord Stanley, is Luvvy. This is actually a pet from 10.0.7, but not everybody knows about it because I have to admit, it's a slight pain to farm. At least it depends. This pet comes from the Cooking Profession Rare on the Forbidden Reach. To those who are not familiar, in 10.0.7, a new item called Artisan Curios were introduced. Each profession got their own Artisan Curio, and if you use it at a specific summoning spot, you will summon that profession rare, which you can get knowledge points, etc. And in this case, if you summon the Cooking Rare, you can get yourself Luvvy, a very cute battle pet. The best thing about this is that Artisan Curios are currently pretty cheap on the NA auction house, so all you have to do is buy a bunch of them and then just get to summoning. Now, the reason why I called this pet a pain is because it kind of depends on your situation. First things first, the reason why this pet is so expensive is because it is a rare drop. According to Wowhead, once again, Wowhead is not always accurate, but it has about a 2% drop rate, so it's pretty rare. Secondly, in order to spawn the rare, there's about a 5-minute cooldown period because you have to wait for the summoning stone, which is a stew, to respawn, and that takes about 5 minutes. So it's not something you can knock out in about 30 minutes. You definitely have a cooldown period. Now, the upsides to that is, first of all, this can be done in a raid group, which firstly means if you guys have multiple accounts, you can get them all into a party, summon the rare with just one item, and you can all get a kill, and that's 5 chances per one rare to get the pet. And of course, if you guys can actually find a group that's doing this, you could join the group and just kind of hang out, and you don't even have to spend the gold on the artisan curio, and you can just help kill the rare, and you have a chance of getting the pet as well. Also, if you are the summoner, so if you are the person who is spending the artisan curio, you also have the chance of getting an alchemical pocket, which is that very, very expensive embellishment. Now, it is even more rare than Luvvy, so don't expect to get a lot, but if you do get lucky, that is about 60 or 55k in your pocket additionally. Personally, if you don't have a lot of accounts to multibox this with, or you can't find yourself a group, I highly recommend just parking a character there. It does have to be a level 70 to kill it efficiently, but just park a level 70, log in every once in a while, summon the rare, kill it, and if you get it, great. If not, you try again later throughout the day. Then lastly, before this video gets way too long, the final thing I just want to mention is crafting legendaries. Now, this was super popular, of course, in Shadowlands, and many of you are probably thinking, what the heck, why is she mentioning legendaries? And that is actually because in just a few patches ago, they became transmoggable. Now, whenever this happened, you probably saw people posting videos about them because legendaries went up a ton because everybody wanted to add them to their collection. However, many months later, they are still selling decently well on most servers. The reason why I bring this up is many people have forgotten it at this point. They're too busy with 10.1, too busy with 10.0.7, etc. So legendary priority has just kind of fallen down, and many people aren't crafting them as much as they used to. Especially if you're on a low pop server, this could be a great market to try to dominate if there's not a ton of competitors. Also, if you never ever touch legendaries in Shadowlands, it's pretty easy to unlock, and you only have to worry about rank 1s because people are just buying it for transmog, so no need to go crazy and craft the higher ranks. But I highly recommend checking out this market, especially if you already have the recipes, you just haven't been recrafting them, because it's still a great market and a great way to bring in some extra gold. But yeah guys, that is basically it. I know this is a pretty weird assortment of ideas, but I really just kind of wanted to throw out a fun video talking about these different gold making methods and just getting them out there to you. Of course, if you have any other tips or anything, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and let me know if you have any success with these items. But as always everybody, thank you guys so much, and have a good day.